I look
We
I
won't
look
see you.
gigantic. I look ginormous.
But you can kind of watch it then if you want to see it on YouTube.
I didn't even think to bring my.
Here.
I'll do it right here.
Okay.
So by the way,
See how
we're
silly
live.
this
Are you guys on?
We're live.
We're
We're
live.
here.
We're live.
Why don't you kick us off?
All right. Well, hello everybody. I'll fix my hair. We're here today at the Forgetting Star Brewery here in friendly Fridley, Minnesota, and we're doing our thing today, Lori. I'm Dan.
I'm Lori Ryan.
I'm Dan Wagner, and we're doing our daily AI experiment, not experience, like I said yesterday. And we thought we'd hang out, maybe tip some beers. Cheers.
Our experiment today is trying this live from a brewery to see how it goes. We've invited some friends who may be here to ask us some questions along the way. And we couldn't be more thrilled to talk about what the last week has been like in the world of AI. And here we come, 2025.
I know, we're here, and I can't believe it. Someone sent me, I'm going on a trip on 125. It's like, is that all of January and 25? And I had to correct her. It's like 125. It's pretty amazing. We're here.
We made it. We made it another year.
Yeah. Another quarter century.
Or that too. Good point. I didn't think about that.
Right. So last time we talked about tonight, we mentioned that you journeyed to the coast, and you had a great time, and you had some AI experiences.
I did. So the first thing that really struck me is we landed at SFO in San Francisco. And the first thing that struck me is they have so many bulletin boards, up along billboards.
Yeah.
Yes. And so much of what they did in their billboards promoted AI in their businesses. Now I realize that there are a lot of companies in San Francisco area, in Silicon Valley, over there, like it was Stripe had one, Intercom, but just everywhere you went seemed to be promoting in their billboards that they're leveraging AI. We are not seeing that here very much.
Not at all.
In fact, people are shying away a lot from even mentioning that AI is involved in anything that they're doing. So it was interesting to me to see it broadcast so publicly that was such a big part of what they're doing.
You think there's like a job security / profit motive and all that, since, hey, AI might ruin the world, but I'm getting a paycheck?
I don't know, but they are wearing it proudly. They're not scared to say, hey, we're incorporating AI and we're doing great things with us, and you want to do business with us because of AI. In fact, there's a company called Touring, and in the airport, I have a picture of it. They had something that said, like, leverage your LLM. And like 90% of people probably don't even know what an LLM is, right? Large language model. And that really stood out to me as well.
That's crazy. Yeah, I mean, it's a different world, I guess. I mean, you have to be into it, right?
Yeah.
If you're going to be in Silicon Valley, right?
Yeah. And then there were just all, when you visit somewhere you don't go very often, you see things you don't normally see, right? Like there's this tree. And I'm like, what are those things on that tree? They kind of look like lemons. They kind of look like the size of grapefruits. Like, what is it? And with ChatGPT, right? You can pull out your phone.
Yeah.
And do the video chat piece. And I'm like having a live conversation saying, what is this?
And what was
this tree? I got to look it up. So we'll have to take a break, and you'll have to take over talking so I can look at. I can't remember it, but whatever it was, the person who worked on site said it's that kind of tree. And by golly, ChatGPT was not hallucinating.
Nice.
The answer was correct.
Nice. Can I ask? Speaking of hallucinating, what are you drinking there?
Okay, so this is some type of seltzer, and they had me at ginger and mint.
Oh yeah.
So I don't know, and I think it might be the mistletoe mule. So I figured I better get it before
we're out of season.
Because that's what happens.
My cup looks so small.
Hey,
it's a tulip. Anyway.
I was going to make a joke, but
I was just going to say something about size doesn't matter.
Right.
Maybe I will, but I'm not going to say it live on the air.
We have the best audience here.
How was your New Year? What were some of your takeaways from the last holiday couple weeks?
Oh gosh, that I like not working. That was a big takeaway, and I got a lot of sleep, and I feel very refreshed. I attacked a DIY project that I'd kind of halfway done. I think I mentioned that. Probably like every time we do a podcast
Yep.
because it's important. I love the idea that I'm moving forward on some of my bigger plans. This is part of my big plan. We got this going, and I've always discovered that, and it's a little late, everybody. Sorry for the late news, but if you start your New Year's resolution before the end of the year, and then you use that January 1st to kind of keep you going, that's a little better plan than waiting until January 1st. So we started the podcast before the end of the year. We started working on my floors before the end of the year. Little home beautification project, some cleaning, deep cleaning.
Can AI clean yet?
Well, I do have a robot vacuum.
Yes.
How does it work? Are you getting good results? Like, does it know where to go?
Oh yeah. This is like old tech, lady. I've had this robot for like 3 years, I think. But it's really nice, and it has a little sensor, whatever, and it goes through your house, and you can see the map of your room and where it goes and the path and everything. It's a sort of AI, I would say, because it knows, oh, I ran into something here. I can't go that way now. I'll try this way and this way and this way and this way. Oh, I can get out. And it's kind of fun.
I think I'd have fun. Do you guys have one at all?
No, but they have robot lawnmowers now.
Oh,
Yes.
right.
My neighbor has a lawnmower, and we bought one of those robots for my aging mother.
Oh,
The
nice.
vacuum. And
Nice.
she loves it. You can do I look on my phone when it turns on, and I can follow it. And it's smart. It starts to learn things as
You're right.
well.
Yeah, mine gets stuck. It got stuck on my floor because I hadn't fixed it yet. Now it's just gonna zip right through.
I love it. I guess that's another area I need to venture because I'm not a good cleaner. So maybe if I had an AI
Yeah.
robot vacuum, maybe I'd get better. Can it also pick up after me though and put stuff away?
You'll need one of those big dog robots or something.
Well, what I'm looking for is AI in our industry too. So when you're ready for questions, I prepared.
Oh well, I think we're ready for
We're
questions.
ready. Bring it.
Bring it.
Oh
Yeah.
my goodness.
Yeah, I was.
So
just, like, putting some things together.
she's got a list. Anyhow, Gigi, please ask your question. We're here to help.
First of all, it was a great atmosphere to do it in a brewery. So I commend you guys. How unique. So I'm in the commercial painting industry, architectural coatings.
Can everybody hear that?
Oh, let's move you over here a little bit.
Hi everyone.
I'm gonna switch you over.
Okay,
You want to be on camera?
To everybody.
I look so bad.
You do not.
Hi everybody. I'm in the architectural coatings commercial industry, and I've been part of a lot of conferences and trade shows. I've been sharing with Lori that these speakers come and they introduce AI into our industry. So we have blue collar technical painters, and we actually have for our industry, we have people coming in when we have a large project like this warehouse. They have to come in and estimate how many square footage is the warehouse, how much paint and how much coatings are we going to have based on the temperature and everything. And this has
Wow.
all been manual. Now the artificial intelligence piece is coming into this now. And so do you guys fear, or is there a fear out there? Because I'm hearing this a lot. Can you clear it up? Are people going to start losing their jobs? Because right now, people that are estimating square footage and estimating the types of coatings based on the temperature, they're fearful of losing their jobs. Can you answer that question, how AI is going to take over?
Their expertise is still going to be needed, right? Because how else are you going to know if what's, at this point at least, what's coming out of these tools is accurate or correct? And they're also going to be the ones who are going to know exactly what to ask. I believe it's important that somebody with their expert knowledge will be needed to make sure that the right information is coming out. And I believe what it will do is allow them to visit more places than maybe they would have been able to otherwise. It will speed up their process.
Make them more efficient.
Make them more efficient. What do you think?
Yeah, I agree 100%. So things like, so any technical thing like that, you actually take advantage of the fact that AI is, it hallucinates. It doesn't have all the answers. And what it really needs, you can always think of AI as an assistant. And I think that's the way to look at it. Something that'll augment what you do. And, my tool uses it in the sales prospecting arena. And, people want to automate it. They want to be hands off. But the reality is it's best used as an augmenting tool, no matter what industry you're in. So that's a great question.
And for you, think about it,
comes up
right?
A lot, yeah.
What you do, coding, engineering, writing, you've used it as a helper, right?
Yeah.
Not as something that's replacing all the brilliant knowledge you have in there.
Somewhere.
So I guess you would say that you would support companies to start investing in an AI type. Is it technology? Is it an AI coach? Is it both?
Yeah.
Is it neither?
That's great. That's a great question. I mean, I think the coaching is really helpful because from the onset, people don't know what AI can and can't
Right.
do. And so they can get a false expectation that there's too much, or they can kind of poo-poo it. You can't poo-poo it. You're going to get left behind. Just like people said,
Right.
oh, we don't need a website.
Right.
You know? I mean, I
Right.
remember those days.
Yes,
Yeah.
I do too.
And then, the pets.com and the bubble, that kind of went crazy on one side. But on the other side, where people are like Amazon and these organizations that said, you know what, this really is the future. I'm going to invest in it. I'm going to take the time. I'm going to use the resources and become an expert so that when it does become big, I'm ready.
So there might even be a new role created, sort of an AI collaboration person, or, not just hiring a new person.
I'm seeing more of that. I'd like to search and see what kind of jobs are available. And for the first time, I think at the end of 2024, I started seeing more and more jobs with AI in the title.
Right.
But and again, AI is so broad, right? There are so many different avenues.
There
but as
is.
a business, what I would always start looking at is what are our pain points?
Yep.
What's costing us money? What do people dread doing that's repetitive, right? Something that would be easy to give to a robot because it doesn't take much thought. You're doing it because you have to do it, not a lot of decisions along the way. So that's an easy way to get started, your quick wins.
It is, but then another roundtable that I was in, I don't want to.
I love this. Keep it up.
Is now there's this ethical standard of AI and the data, how clean it is. And so how can people be assured that the AI data is pure and ethical and unbiased without having that person that we're hiring to collaborate with the AI piece? How can we keep that ethical and unbiased?
Yeah. So there's something called a RAG, and if I get the acronym right, it's Retrieval Augmented.
I got you.
She's got me. So the RAG, though, is a place where you can deposit your own proprietary content, your data, your white papers and PDFs and all that stuff. So what do we got here? Retrieval Augmented Generation. So it's a RAG, and it's where it's your private area. No one else can see it, and you need to put in regular security measures to make sure it's not leaked out to the public. But then you can query your AI tools against it and say, what's the best way? Take the coating. I'm putting this on plaster. What's the best coating to use? I'm putting it on steel. I'm putting it on aluminum. And you can ask those questions. And now that's your proprietary data. And if you wanted to, you could actually open that up on a subscription basis. You could say, we have all this data
and
about
monetize how you're farming the data.
Exactly. So
that's good.
Hallucinations happen because the training has happened on a broad range of knowledge. A billion parameters are shoved into this thing, and those things could be fiction writing and some, you don't know where the data's from. We don't really have control of it. We just sent these bots out, gather data. Well, where'd the data come from? But when you do a RAG, this is my data. I'm going to ask it simple English questions, and it's going to retrieve that data for me. So for the most part, RAG systems are really the way of the future. Organizations that have a lot of data or proprietary knowledge, it could be about customers, it could be about products, it could be about processes. All those things can be thrown into a RAG, and that's really a powerful thing that AI is doing right now for a lot of organizations.
Is there sort of a a fine line between the PI data and the RAG data. We want to make sure they don't get that personal information in there, and how deep does that go, and how protected can someone like me be if someone were going to do their own data mining on things.
Right. Yeah, that's obviously a big deal, and that's where ethics come in.
Yeah.
The whole healthcare industry wants to leverage AI, but they got all these HIPAA rules that they need to navigate.
From the healthcare industry.
Yes. So the goal there is to really use the same data that's already been segregated from private data and then put that into the RAG, which I think would be a totally legitimate. Segregating personal data has been a thing for a long time, and I think AI now can leverage that hard work that everybody's done.
Did you see that, Victoria? Some of when you were in the healthcare of in marketing and all the content you had to use, how did you protect from the PI or the personal information? And you're in that industry.
Yeah, well, I would say two things. First of all, AI for marketers is a lot about content development, and I'll get back to that in a minute. Secondly, in regards to health systems and use of private data, a lot of the data that my former company used was de-identified. So it's anonymized data. So it can have the benefit of knowledge and learning from that de-identified data without running into the privacy rules and regulations, which is essentially how large healthcare databases are leveraged throughout the world. So I think that there is a pattern already that the AI can kind of fit into, because they've already been using that de-identified data for many years. So I think that is pretty manageable, but I'm a neophyte on that end of it. On the content end of it, I would say that AI is not a replacement for writing, for human-centered, human-authored writing. What it can be helpful for is research, drafting. But at the end of the day, I remember one of my colleagues in my recent contract experience suggested that for me to write a quick LinkedIn blog, I should just have AI do it. And I thought she was joking. She wasn't joking. In her mind, it was perfectly acceptable to give AI some information and have it turn into a blog and then press the button and publish that blog. So to your point, the human factor is critical. And also as marketers and guarding our brands, we're very mindful of infusing a brand personality, brand authenticity, meeting brand guidelines. If you're not writing that content and you're not policing the brand authentication, it's going to be a huge fragmentation factor. So there's a lot of work being developed with content owners and content developers. In my last company, the consulting gig, they were developing their own AI book for best practices within that company.
Right.
And that spanned everything from marketing to medical research, biomedical research, because AI is being used so heavily in research too. So in that particular company's instance, they had many different uses of AI that they had to figure out. And so they were in the process of developing basically a company rulebook.
That's awesome. That's awesome that they're doing that, right? That's always a great start to make sure there are boundaries.
Right. Yeah.
Lots to think about.
I do think the RAG thing, and I keep reading that whole search retrieval thing is going to be one of the biggest things in 2025 that companies are going to dig into. Because how many times have you wanted information on something and you're like, where was that? Was that SharePoint?
Right.
Was that in an email?
That's what I was thinking.
Where do I find that? Or, if you're applying for FDA approval or anything, it's like, what did we do, whatever, to get this passed before, or what were our blockers, what do we need to consider? And it can really help you find what you need in a much easier way and target it to the data that you trust and is data that you own in a secure fashion.
And it can find patterns that you may have missed.
Correct.
It's coming at things from a fresh, unbiased perspective. In that sense, it's good that it's not human.
I agree with you. And, we talk about that a lot, too, as we're all learning new things, right?
Yeah.
AI doesn't judge you. It doesn't.
Yeah. And, one of the questions, too, just transitioning from that is, what are some skills or knowledge that you guys would recommend someone just like me to stay relevant and keep up? Because I go to a lot of these trade shows, conferences, you're talking about content. How can I stay relevant? Not being like a you guys, just
You
in
come to my training.
everyday-
See, I'm going to do a
Okay,
shameless
here
promotion
we go.
right here.
Plug.
February
Wait for it.
February 12th, Lord Night at Modern Well. If you're in Minnesota, it's a very low cost to learn about tools you're going to love just in time for Valentine's
So
Day.
it's
Like, what
learning
else
about
could you
tools.
want?
It's learning the tools
It's
to
more
stay
about
relevant.
just getting familiar with things, because once you're familiar and you're in a room full of other people who are sharing their ideas and
Yeah.
trying things, you're
Yeah.
going to be like, oh, wow, this is
Right.
just all at my fingertips. I just,
Well-
I have to get in the mindset or the habit of leveraging these tools to try things, also with an understanding, like you guys talk about. I don't want to put
Yeah.
PII data in, or I don't want to do this, but how do I start making this a part of my everyday
Yeah.
routine?
I mean, I'm already using it for most of my Outlook emails.
Nice.
I'm using that feature. I plug that in, and I'm almost close, but I'll
So
definitely.
you're drafting something and then you're
Yeah.
having it
Redrafted.
take a look.
Yeah. It's very helpful. I mean, it's so helpful because, when I write an email, one of my problems, when I write an email, I'm thinking of the one thing that I want to communicate. And I forget, they need context.
Yeah.
I always
They-
forget that too.
Yeah. They need, they need some motivation to actually read my email.
Right.
And I'm just like, the sky is blue. It's blue, I tell you,
Yeah.
And they're
right.
like, by the way, did anyone go outside today? And,
Right, right.
so it can really help bring context to that important information
Yeah.
that you're trying
Yeah.
to get across. And I really love that.
And it can help with communication, right, between different departments or different types of neurodivergent learners or whatever it is. Because what I've learned is sometimes I'm so quick, I just want to write this thing as fast as I can and get it off, check it off my list of things I need to think about, that I don't take the time to think about who's on the other end. Like myself, I have ADHD. Like, maybe it would be better with bullet points, or what is it going to be that's going to be concise and give them the context or whatever they need, and it's super helpful. Sometimes it's reminded me, you should put in a deadline in here and let them know when you need this back.
great.
I'm like, oh, thank you for catching
Is
that.
there a way, or maybe you already know this? We are a huge CRM sales force, like
Yeah.
a sales force or a CRM sales team,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Is there a way of incorporating some type of AI so that everything I do is so manual in like a Salesforce? Do you think a company like Salesforce, HubSpot will eventually get to that point where it's going to start taking my emails and just grabbing the context and the content and the contacts and just feed it into my CRM piece for that account?
Yeah. So,
Yeah, and
Go ahead.
AI driven personalization, I
Right.
think, is really huge.
Right. Well,
Yep.
that would be, in my opinion, the most valuable piece for me in my industry with the sales teams.
so a lot of so I have a bias in this area, but I am in the sales prospecting space.
Okay.
So I have a tool for
Yep.
that. And what I've realized is that, we keep coming out with tools. We got ChatGPT, and everybody's coming out with their tool. And the problem with tools that come from these vendors, these large vendors like Salesforce, is that they're really built for everybody. And AI can customize that, but then in the back, people spend hundreds of thousands of dollars customizing their Salesforce now.
Right.
Now with the power of AI, I think that number's going to go up.
Right.
But the question is it actually doing the things that make you more efficient and get you in front of your customers and do the kinds of stuff that you want to do? That remains to be seen. Really, you have to plug your thing. So our tool is called Workflow Assassin, because we realize there's certain workflows that actually get you in front of customers. And so, Salesforce is great, but it does 1,000 things. And what you really need is something that works for you every single time and gets you in front of your ideal customer. And that's what we've developed in our area. And every company is a little different. And
Is that
some
like your
some-
proprietary software that
Yeah.
you developed?
we created
Okay.
a software, and
And
as
is
to
it
closure.
license based? Is that license
It's a
fee
license.
per
Yeah,
license?
it's a subscription-based product.
Okay.
Yeah. So, but the neat thing about the tool, it actually sits on top of LinkedIn, and
It
it
does.
uses your LinkedIn audience as it really creates a workflow that reaches your LinkedIn audience. It's very powerful. We started using it, and I would say we get between
For prospecting?
5 or 6, for prospecting. People we've never talked to, 5 or 6 people coming in for strategic conversations every single week. So just from using it. So it's very effective.
What I thought was so cool when you showed it to me, and I'm trying to use it. I think the only thing getting in my way right now is myself. The tool's amazing. But I loved how it personalized things. So it could go to the people that you would be sending an email to and call up information about them from their profile, so that when you're sending them this LinkedIn direct message or whatever it is, maybe you're sending them something you wrote or something you think they'll find interesting. But it makes it very personal, kind of what you said about the marketing.
So it's like automating the ABM program.
Is that
account-based marketing? But that true one-on-one
Yes.
account communication.
Yeah.
That's what it feels like. Yes.
Yeah. So typically, you want to reach out to someone, you go on their stuff, you research their
You're
company,
doing it
you go
all.
to their website.
Right.
Well, this does it for you. So it's very powerful.
It's amazing. And you did that.
Well, you make sure you drop that in the chat
Yeah, we'll
and
put
then-
that in
and then-
the notes. Yeah,
Yeah.
the show notes.
That's really interesting.
Yeah.
I didn't, I'm really, this is so valuable for the common person, right?
Right.
I mean, I was hoping wasn't going to get so specific, so far up there that, okay, I'm not going to be able to follow this, but I think it's valuable. I love what you guys are doing. I feel like there's a way that we can always benefit from different types of people in different industries listening to your podcast. So when is this? When do you guys do this? How often? How frequent?
Every day.
We're recording every
Monday.
weekday, Monday
Yeah,
through Friday.
Monday through Friday.
And then Fridays, we try to schedule some time to do a live
Got
together.
it. Got it.
Yep.
Great.
So we're in our separate spaces Monday through Thursday, and then
Yeah.
Friday we get together.
Got
So
it.
maybe it's happy hour. We'll find a brewery every week. I don't know.
Yeah, like
Cheers.
the
Look
tour.
at it. I'm getting almost done with this.
So do you think that they can use some type of article? This is just going to be a fun question
Good
now.
fun.
Yes.
We like fun.
So
Hit us with the hard ones.
I was just
Yeah,
reading.
right.
I was reading something in Vogue about
Oh,
artificial
yes.
intelligence when it comes to relationships.
Oh,
Relationship guidance,
okay.
things like that. Just the communication piece.
Did you try it?
I'm not in a relationship, but
Maybe that
I
can help.
could try it. I could try it with my
Except for her friends.
Yeah,
Yeah, right.
But they were reading about some tool that's helping people that are dating or in relationships, with their communication, but in a way, ethically or morally, it's like you guys have to be who you are to each other. You
Sure.
can't have two robots talking to each other and thinking this is the relationship. Unless I'm wrong, unless you guys disagree.
I do have an opinion on that. I think it can be very helpful to see where you're missing the boat. Like, I keep saying this thing and she's not hearing me and blah 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 blah,
Yeah.
And it's like, why does this happen? Why do I get defensive? Why does she get defensive? Why does this topic trigger her, or me or whatever? It can be really helpful for those kind of things. But, and I'm going to throw in this thing, I think there's probably a lot of guys who have virtual girlfriends through AI. That's the thing, right?
No.
That's so frightening.
Yes.
No.
What does that give
So
me more?
frightening.
Maybe. What does that mean?
Like
Look at
they'll
she's
say
pulling her
they'll say
chair
like she's
closer.
getting all excited. They say just the right things.
Oh,
They are very
come on.
they listen, and I mean, come on, we've done the live chat GPT. It's like, yeah, I'm having a hard day. That can be really hard.
I know. That's why I like Santa.
Yeah, Santa. Oh.
I did. I loved it. And I heard Santa's voice is still there. I'm like,
So
you
you have-
better keep Santa's
So
voice
your
all
chat
year long.
GPT is Santa?
ChatGPT, one of the voices you could pick, I don't know, when they released
Oh, okay.
stuff during the 12 days of Christmas or Shipmas was Santa. And it just,
But
he made me laugh.
maybe they're onto something. Think about people who can't afford therapy, right? So maybe there's a therapist out there and you're having a tough day, or you're dealing with depression, or you just need to check in with yourself.
Yeah.
I mean,
I totally use ChatGPT to help me on hard days. And I have a lot of those.
Yeah. I'll ask it like, it's like I can't figure out what to do today, it'll be like, well, you need to, it'll give you good advice. Like, okay, look at all the options that you have. Try to identify one that you can get done today or whatever. It's
Yeah.
and only because, and it's like if I had 5 minutes, I'd probably think about it. But I'm stuck in my funk, and I can't figure it out. But if you asked me, I might be able to give you good advice. But if I ask me, I can't
It's
get
different
me.
asking yourself than
Yeah.
I think that's such a great option for people that need that they don't have that golden retriever at home to greet them with that
Right.
smile and the wagging tail. You've got Santa.
I got Santa.
What could be better?
Santa, I know you're busy, but
Santa's
I know you're
off
preparing
season.
for next
You
year.
have all the time. It's off season.
Right,
Yeah,
it's
it's
off
off
season.
season.
You're all mine now.
Oh, that's yeah. I was reading that in Vogue, and they're actually talking about how it's helped form relationships and communication. And I'm thinking, there's the other side of it too. I enjoy this, right? We're talking
me too.
like humans.
Totally.
We're not referencing anything.
Right. I was going to ask ChatGPT, would it be rude for me to go grab my French fries?
No, go for it.
Okay, I'll be
Who
right
wants
back.
to move in? Gigi, you want to move in?
Sure.
This is how we roll. Victoria, you want to come in closer? What other questions do you have?
Well, if you want to hand me my phone, I did spend some time.
I think prepared. She came prepared. Look at.
I think that a lot of questions that would come up for me, and Victoria, if you want to slide in here, is just the different conferences in my industry, the commercial industry, architectural, coatings industry. And we're hearing a lot of things about jobs that are taking 2 to 3 people right now doing the technical administrative support for these huge stadiums where now artificial intelligence is coming in. And I think the biggest fear and the biggest apprehension and why people aren't moving forward is they think they're going to lose their jobs. And I think that there has to be a little bit more information on there as to how to not lose your job, but make your job better.
Yeah,
that's exactly
more rewarding.
More rewarding, so you can focus on what you love doing most. And I think that stems from company leadership, right? We're not here to cut costs. We're okay keeping our costs as they are. So what can we do to expand the business and keep imagine for people who work like 50 or 60 hours a week, right? Or they're overburdened and more people are leaving. What if this allowed people to be happier at work or, have more balance in their life? I saw, Bill Gates said something like maybe the 3-day work week is going to be in our future. Maybe all of this way that we've all grown up and all known forever of, you just got to work all week.
But do you think that's going to take away the collaboration piece? Because I think that within teams, human collaboration, think points, and just getting out there and communicating and throwing ideas out, will that go away when AI comes? Because there's so much more value with the actual human collaboration.
Since I've gotten involved in learning everything I can about these AI tools, I have met and been collaborating with the most incredible humans. And it's really been AI that's brought us together. And our biggest thing is how do we leverage these tools so that we can have more in-person time collaborating with other humans, right? What are we tied up doing that's not allowing us to have this time together?
And I think to your point, Lori, it goes back to company leadership, of defining that path and that role, of making sure that it is doing the good and helping achieve greater possibilities for the company instead of looking at a way to replace people. So it's really up to the company to prioritize that collaboration, the unique elements that make it unique.
But
so that requires some thought and some planning and some vigilance.
Yes.
Constant vigilance.
I'm going to have you come back to your chair.
You did such a great job holding down the fort.
And he's back.
Oh, wow.
Sweet potato
fries.
Sweet potato.
So what did you miss? Should we bring them up to speed?
Yeah, so
what happened?
Another thing too, Dan, is we were talking about the AI piece in the workforce again, and I said the one thing that I really value is when my team gets together and we sit and collaborate.
Okay.
We talk about ideas. We knock things back and forth. Some things stick, some things don't. Will that AI piece take that away? That office collaboration, that office think tank, that office roundtable, because now we don't need their data because we can mine some very good data out there. But there's so many more things that you can value in corporate America or any work environment by talking to people and just the human interaction.
Yeah,
Like this.
Right. And we're in AI every day, but this almost becomes more valuable, right?
Right.
I don't think. I think it's like everything else. It's like it's going to make it more efficient. I mean, I come to meetings now with notes. I never came to meetings with notes.
Me
I don't-
too. I prepare
Yeah.
more.
because I can just say, hey, I'm going to this meeting. These are some of the issues. Can you create an outline? Blah 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 blah. And I come to a meeting. I'm prepared. And guess what? I look really smart, and I look like one of those really organized people.
Oh,
Which
how does
is
that
crazy.
feel? I don't know what that's like. Still.
Exactly. You guys should eat fries. They're sweet potato fries. I don't know what that sauce is, but they got hot honey on them.
But the other thing I'm thinking about with collaboration, right, and listening to ideas, I don't know if you've ever been in meetings, right, where it's just certain people's opinions feel like they're the only ones that are heard. I think AI has the opportunity to level the playing field if you bring it in as like a neutral listening party, maybe to be able to expand on different people's ideas or kind of equalize the listening as a neutral party. I think there
Would that
could be
happen
huge
after
benefits.
the conversation?
I remember with Copilot, they were going to have this ability to call in a bot to the meeting that would listen, and you could, during the meeting, you could say to the AI, like, "What are your thoughts after hearing everything you've heard so far?
Oh,
What are we
interesting.
missing? What are we
Yeah.
not covering?"
Yeah.
And you could still do that today with the advanced voice feature, right? You could have it be involved in these meetings and get feedback along the way. That I want to say,
could you summarize the highlights from this session?
Yeah.
well, that's
You
already
can do-
done today.
Yeah,
Yes,
so I use
absolutely.
Otter AI
Yeah.
for
Yeah.
notes, and you can do that
Otter.
after the fact.
After the fact too,
Yeah.
for sure.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
But I love the idea of in meeting.
In meeting participant. I don't know. To me, it could
Can
be.
you imagine if she said it 5 times and I don't really know what she means? And
Or
you can
else,
just say,
why are these people not understanding? Why do
Right.
I keep repeating the question and not getting
I feel like I'm not getting my
getting
point
the
across.
answer.
Can you help me?
Yes,
Right.
and I'm sure it could. Or I'm sensing negativity.
Right.
You know what I mean? Let's figure out how to go there. And I like to think it could make some meetings even better.
Right. I agree.
I don't know. I think like relationships, the workplace can be hard to navigate, right? We're all so different. And it's like having a coach.
Right.
Yeah,
I like that.
I like that too. So you mentioned Otter. I'll have to get a list of some.
I
of
like
these
Tactique,
tools.
but
What is it called?
TAQTIC maybe?
Okay. Sorry, I've seen that.
Yes. We got one more. We're still on,
You're
Melissa.
still
Come
on,
wait.
and
We're getting some.
you bet. Come on, have a seat. So
See, she's coming through.
say hi, wave.
Hi, Melissa.
Melissa and Dan.
What questions do you have for us today?
By the way, something came up just now. What was about the different AI models and so? Oh,
Right.
she asked for a list.
Yeah.
Yes.
Remember my list?
Yeah.
But
So
like a top 10 or something.
10.
the other day we went through on our last one. I think it was our last one from yesterday.
Yeah.
I collated a list of 356 AI tools, and
Oh, wow.
it's going to be in the show notes from that one.
Okay.
I'll probably
From
put
what
it in
day?
this one.
Okay. I'll
That was from
I'll-
yesterday,
okay.
Thursday.
Yeah,
Number
that's good.
11, right?
Number 11. This is actually 12 if you
This is
number it. 12. It's a dozen, right?
I love it. Dirty dozen.
Dirty.
Are you on Spotify?
No. We're just on YouTube.
Okay.
Love it.
Yeah.
So I'm sorry. Are you doing a Q&A? I didn't mean to.
Yeah, we're in Q&A. The whole thing's
Yep,
been like
yep.
group talk. We've covered
Talking about
quite a
AI,
few
we're
things.
primarily.
No pressure, but she did put down a list of 12 questions that she came prepared with. And Victoria's in marketing, in healthcare marketing. So she was able to talk about how they do anonymized data for trends and everything like that. Yeah.
Well, the one thing I did have, because Lori and I have talked about this. If you could think of one thing that excites you the most about AI, we covered work, we covered notes, we covered collaboration, we even covered dating, relationships, and marriage.
Lawnmowers and vacuum
cleaners.
And bathroom issues.
And
from the other day.
Yes.
That sounded bad.
That's
Bathroom.
Wow, very
Yeah.
good.
So,
Tub
I was
issues
yeah.
from what I saw.
so I always ask people that are, what excites you the most? It's so general, but it doesn't have to be.
For me, the idea to add more kindness into the world is what gets me really excited, because I believe by practicing with these tools, whether it's please or thank you or learning how to be a better communicator and being able to see things from other points of view, maybe it will help bring just more empathy to the world that we live in. And so that's, if there's any way we could build something to foster more kindness, I think the world could use a little bit
Like
right
build
now.
some type of filter. like if there's
The
going to
asshole
be
filter.
an asshole or an angry person
or
out there.
maybe some manners training.
What I say if filters as to come
It's
out
like
kind.
much sweeter. Yeah.
There's one of she does the quick Instagram videos, and it's all about work. And one of the things she does is,
Who's she?
I don't remember her name. I'm so sorry.
I know, it's like,
If
is
you're
it
watching, but she says something like, "How do I say you're not understanding what I'm saying professionally?" And then it kicks back the professional way to say that thing,
Yeah.
which kind of goes to your thing about being kind. How can I say things in a way that's just not my orneriness coming across?
Today I had to talk to the IRS. I was almost crying, and I'm like, I know it's not this poor woman's fault on the other side, but I don't know if you guys have ever dealt with the government on issues.
No,
I wanted
they're
to.
hard to deal with.
I wanted to cry. I'm like, but I had to remember, right? Some of those tools in my toolbox, and I probably could have used ChatGPT to say, how can I word this better to help this conversation go more smoothly? Because I was running out of patience.
Ooh, that reminds me of a meeting I had today. So I was in a work group with some people that I just started working with, and I'm kind of in this role underneath the owner of the company, and there was kind of this confrontation building against my perspective, which I kind of feel like the owner was on board with, and another person also high up, their perspective. And I opted, maybe for the first time in my life, to keep my mouth shut. So, but AI would have been very helpful. And the owner, it's probably why he's a successful business owner, he was able to kind of say, we can incorporate that into this tool. I don't see why not. And he really was very
open.
He provided really a good way for that person to feel heard and his ideas incorporated.
Some people are just really good at that.
Some
But
people are. I'm not.
I don't think it's necessarily easy to learn.
No.
Right.
Practice, though. I believe it's like yoga. The more you go, you start to work those muscles. It's, I don't know, maybe that's.
No, I like that. I think it's hard to coach leadership. I think it's really hard. It's really easy to coach skill.
Yeah.
There you go.
Well, I think leadership, some of the things you're talking about are almost innate.
Yeah.
Right?
They
They
have
have
it
to
out
exist.
people, but it's really hard
Right.
to foster
Right.
it. There is something that's missing.
Yeah. One more thing I was going to add. I don't know how long your podcast is, but I have a daughter who has autism, and she's 19, so she's older. But I have a really hard time sometimes communicating to her. What I say to her, she doesn't hear because she has a cognitive delay. That's what her disability is. She's not really autistic, but she has a delay in her information, right? So I can tell you 5 things. Hey, I went to the store today. I went skiing. Then I picked up this. I drove here and went here. It would take her a long time to understand those 5 things. She probably got 2.
Hmm.
And so I'm starting to learn a better way to communicate to her. Is there a way that, some type of artificial intelligence tool for someone like with a disability and they call it intellectual disability, not physical, but of incorporating something of the way they receive communication and receive information and receive data immediately without having to get on a tool, cut and paste, you know what I mean? Something a little more immediate. If that is out there, I would appreciate anyone to give me that tool.
Wow. Yeah, I would wonder if the live, I'm sorry, what do we call that?
Advanced voice.
Advanced voice.
Yeah.
Because you could say, I'm talking to my daughter. She has this challenge, and I want to communicate these 5 things. Can you talk to her? And just hand it off.
Like similar to talking, when I've seen it used for translating or having a conversation with someone.
With foreign language.
Right. It'll figure out. I would try it. I
will. I never thought it's the advanced feature in ChatGPT.
I think it's on all the.
So is it on all the apps right now?
Yeah,
or do I
it's
have
all
to get
there.
a different app?
We'll look on your phone as
Okay.
soon as we wrap this
Okay.
up, but I'm pretty sure you got it today.
Okay.
Yeah.
That'd be really cool.
We have some canine visitors behind us. Maybe they could contribute. They're so cute.
How do I get more people food in my dog dish?
Yeah.
Ruff, 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 ruff.
And then that can be
Can you
translated.
speak dog language?
Translated.
Translated.
He wants some more people food.
Exactly. Where are the fries?
That's great.
Wonder if it can help us with bingo.
Actually, pretty soon we gotta get our bingo cards. Last time I was here,
Yeah.
the friend I was with, she won. So I mean, there is nothing better.
That's why we're back here.
That's why we're
What
here.
did she win?
Like $650.
I wish. No, she only won like 80, but it was enough.
Oh,
right?
all at 6 and 8.
What? Someone had told
I like
me that they won
six.
That was
650.
Michelle. They were.
Oh,
yeah,
it was a different
different
place.
bingo.
Okay.
Can you tell we like bingo?
Yeah, bingo's great. I love bingo.
That's amazing.
Who thought? Maybe it's because I like bingo as a kid, right? It's not because I'm getting old.
No, I feel like it's because I'm getting old. But that's fine.
It's because I'm getting
proud of it.
old.
I'm fine with it.
It's like, I think
I'm accepting.
old people are living this second childhood.
Oh, that's what it is. It's our way to.
Well, absolutely.
So,
Connect with.
any closing thoughts? AI has not been able to figure out how to help me win bingo. I will say that.
An opportunity. Opportunity.
Help me with the luck. Can you figure out how to push up the numbers that I have on my card?
For the rubber. Yeah.
Yeah, right. No, I don't have
to
anything.
stamp it. The robot to stamp it so I don't
Right.
miss things.
Exactly.
So that was a very nice beer. That was a hazy IPA.
Yes. And now that
In a
we're empty,
tulip
we may have to say goodbye.
What's
I don't know.
that?
What do you think? To the folks who are going to watch later.
Later. Yeah. Wow. So many people in this podcast. It's hard to believe.
The audience.
The audience is
Huge.
huge. It's huge.
They don't know. They're missing out.
Yeah, well.
Who
Thanks
says
for
size matters?
It's
right.
It's
We've already
the
determined that.
quality, not the quantity.
That's
We've
right.
got 3 here.
That's so great. That's so great. Well, do you have anything? Any final thoughts?
No, I got some more homework to do this weekend. And several things I want to look into. You've given me some things to think about, like napkin, which I want to try. I've also been getting back into building GPTs, so there's some more work I want to do practicing with how to
Nice.
do them better.
Yes.
That's it.
No, yeah, those are great. You're up on Monday, so you're gonna have to come up with something to share.
Maybe there's some takeaways from here I can play around with.
I think so. I think so.
For sure, we're going to try the dog stuff and see if it'll talk
A
dog.
dog being. Well, thanks everyone for watching. It's Dan and Lori here at the Daily AI Experiment, and we've had a great time with our lovely guests. And we're gonna maybe have a little more beer, but we're definitely playing bingo.
We'll let you know if we win.
All right, sounds good. Have a good day, everybody.